Welcome to your 2-minute quick brief of the Tech Radar for Parents. I'm your host, Weston, brought to you by Nicholas D. West Tech LLC. It's the last week of July, 2026. School is about to start, and this week, the good news is genuinely big. 2 different governments went after the algorithm itself instead of going after your kid. The bad news is a challenge your local police department is warning you about that may not actually exist. And the ugly is a real one. Kids organizing huge gatherings on Instagram and people getting shot. Let's go. For 2 years, almost every law aimed at kids online has worked the same way. Check an ID, block an account, keep them out. This week, 2 different governments tried something different. They went after the feed. On Friday, July 24th, the European Commission issued preliminary findings that TikTok broke the Digital Services Act by failing to keep minors' accounts safe. And look at what they're actually asking for. Right now, a teenager on TikTok can set their account to public, which means anyone on Earth can see their videos, including people who don't even have a TikTok account. And TikTok's For You algorithm can push content posted by 16 and 17-year-olds to complete strangers. The Commission's proposed fix is simple. Minors' accounts should default to private, visible only to followers the kid personally approved, and TikTok should stop feeding minors' content to strangers through the algorithm entirely. Read that again, because it's the whole ballgame. Nobody is asking your kid to prove their age. They're asking the platform to stop broadcasting your kid. Then on Tuesday, July 28th, New York finalized the rules for its Safe for Kids Act. Under those rules, anyone under 18 gets a non-algorithmic feed by default, meaning they see posts only from accounts they actually chose to follow, in order, like a timeline instead of a slot machine. A parent can consent to turn the algorithm back on. Without that consent, it stays off. The rules also cover nighttime notifications, and they include something I want to point out, because parents ask me about it constantly. Platforms have to offer at least one way to verify age that isn't a government ID, and they have to delete the verification data immediately after using it. Somebody actually listened to the privacy objection. One honest caveat: those New York rules published on July 28th start a 180-day clock. The law takes effect January 25th, 2027. So this is a change your kid will feel during the school year, not tomorrow morning. And the European finding is preliminary. TikTok gets to respond before anything is final. But the direction matters. For the first time, the target is the recommendation engine, not the child. Now here's the uncomfortable one. And it's about us, the adults. On Tuesday, July 28th, the Cass County Sheriff's Office in North Dakota warned parents about the TikTok door kick challenge after responding to an incident in Horace. The same day, police in Royersford, Pennsylvania, put out photos of 4 teenagers they were looking for in connection with the same thing. Earlier in the month, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Santa Clarita station posted a warning too. If you're a regular listener, you've heard this before. We covered the door kick challenge back on July 6th. So here's the update, and it's not what you'd expect. Reporting that actually went looking for the trend couldn't find it. Not a single news story about the door kick challenge included an actual TikTok video of it. There was no trending hashtag, no search term. The Ring camera footage that news outlets kept running as proof shows no phone in anyone's hand and nobody filming, which means the footage can't tell you the kick was done for the internet or even that it was done by a kid. And one of the original named sources for the whole story never actually saw who kicked her door. So let me be very careful and very precise, because both things are true at once. Doors are genuinely getting kicked. Royersford police are looking for real teenagers. That's real property damage, real fear for the person inside. And in California, deputies say it can be charged as felony vandalism. A homeowner cannot tell the difference between a prank and someone breaking in. That is a serious situation, and I'm not waving it away. But TikTok challenge is a label that got attached to it, not a fact anybody verified. And there's a repeatable pipeline here worth knowing. A local TV station reports a scary teen trend. Worried parents share it. National outlets pick it up without checking whether the underlying videos exist, and now it's everywhere. It has happened before, and it will happen again. Why does this matter to you? Because every time we panic about a fake trend, we spend the credibility we need for the real ones. Your kid knows which trends are actually on their phone. When you come to them with something that isn't, you sound like someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. And next week, when it's real, they've already stopped listening. Ask instead of announce. Hey, have you seen anything about people kicking doors? Costs you nothing. I read about this TikTok challenge you kids are doing. Costs you the conversation, and now the one that is unfortunately very well documented. On July 25th, the Associated Press reported on what are being called teen takeovers. These are large gatherings of young people, sometimes several thousand, organized and promoted on social media, with Instagram flyers named specifically. They happen at beaches, in parking lots, at intersections. There's music and dancing. There are also high-speed car stunts, blocked roads, and sometimes violence. Over the July 4th weekend in Raleigh, North Carolina, several thousand young people converged on 2 locations, and 9 people were shot and wounded, including one adult who had nothing to do with the gathering and just happened to be there. In Pensacola, Florida, a 19-year-old was shot and killed. In Detroit, in May, a 14-year-old was shot and wounded. In Newport Beach, more than 400 people were arrested after participants launched mortars and projectiles at police officers. I want to be precise about the mechanism, because it determines what you actually say to your kid. The gathering itself is not the danger. Thousands of teenagers dancing in a parking lot is not, on its own, a tragedy. The danger is that when you put that many people in an unplanned, unsupervised space, and somebody in the crowd is armed, the odds of a gunshot go way up. And the person hit is very often someone who was not involved in whatever started it. That adult in Raleigh wasn't in a fight. He was nearby. The consequences are escalating fast, too. Blue Island, Illinois now fines parents and guardians for cleanup costs. Florida prosecutors can apply the state's racketeering law when a takeover involves an organized network. That is not a curfew violation. That is a felony statute. And here's the part parents miss. The kids going to these are not, by and large, going to commit crimes. Researchers and the participants themselves describe the draw as belonging and autonomy. Being somewhere with 1,000 people your own age that no adult organized. That's a completely normal thing for a 17-year-old to want, which is exactly why "don't go to those" doesn't work as a sentence, and why the conversation has to be about what happens when it goes wrong and how fast you leave. Here's your decoder. And this week, it's a little different, because when we went looking at what's actually spreading on TikTok right now, we found almost no new slang. What we found were formats. So here's what's really on the feed, plus 2 words you'll be hearing from the platforms. Number 1, the Kumar method. A fictional character, a retired accountant, dispensing life advice over fast cuts, red text overlays, and trap beats. It's already spun off a second character named Cyrus doing negotiation tactics. Completely harmless. It's this week's meme format, and if your kid quotes it at dinner, that's all it is. Number 2, the Boys in the Hood saxophone. An audio cue lifted from the 1991 film, used to signal this is about to go wrong in a video. It's a punchline, not a warning sign. Number 3, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? A lip sync meme from Rush Hour, also harmless. I mention these 3 together for a reason. The documented TikTok trends this week are movie audio and jokes, not dares. Number 4, takeover. This is the one that matters. If you see the word takeover in your kids' messages, or a flyer posted to an Instagram story with a location and a time, that is the segment we just did showing up on your child's phone. It's logistics, not slang. Number 5, age assurance. You're going to start hearing this from platforms, and it does not mean what age verification means. Age verification is a check. Age assurance can also mean the platform guessing your child's age from their behavior. And the UK regulator Ofcom reported this month that services relying on those guesses appear to be missing large numbers of children. So if a platform tells you it has age assurance, the follow-up question is that a check or a guess? Before your action plan, one more thing from this week, and it's timely. On July 29th, FBI Atlanta issued a back-to-school advisory naming 3 specific things. First, the first day of school photo. That cute sign your kid holds up leaks the school name, the grade, sometimes a street sign or a house number. Video of them getting on the bus adds the daily routine and the exact time. Second, sextortion. The FBI describes predators posing as a kid the same age, soliciting images from children as young as 7, then threatening to spread them unless they get paid. Boys are the majority of victims. And third, and this one surprises people, hoax school threats. The FBI says forwarding a threat is itself a felony, even in a group chat. Even if your kid is just passing it along because they're scared, every threat gets treated as real. So here's your action plan. 4 things this week. 1. Change the first day of school photo. You don't have to skip it. Crop the sign so the school name isn't readable, don't post the bus stop, and wait until you're home rather than posting live from the curb. Same photo, none of the map. 2. Ask before you announce. Before you bring your kid a scary trend you read about, ask them if they've seen it. If they haven't, you've learned something and you've kept your credibility. Every fake panic you skip is one more real warning they'll actually hear. 3. Make the takeover plan now, not later. Don't ban it, because that just means you won't be told. Say this instead. If you end up somewhere with a huge crowd and no adults running it, text me the word and I will come get you. No questions and no consequences. Then agree on the word. The goal is that leaving early is easy. 4. Ask your platforms one question. When your kid's app tells you it has age assurance, ask whether that's a real check or a behavioral guess. And in New York, mark January 25th, 2027. That's when your teen's feed is supposed to go chronological by default, and it's worth knowing so you notice if it doesn't. That's your 2 minutes. 2 governments went after the algorithm this week instead of the kid, which is the right target. A challenge everyone is warning about turned out to have no videos behind it, which is a reminder to check before we panic. And a very real thing, kids gathering by the 1,000 off an Instagram flyer is putting bystanders in the hospital. The skill this week isn't blocking an app. It's telling the difference between a story and a fact, so that when you do sound the alarm, your kid believes you. For our full-length deep dives into every topic we covered today, check out our main feed. I'm your host, Weston, with Nicholas D. West Tech, LLC. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and we will see you next time.